Let this light guide us on our journey of learning and understanding. May I request our esteemed guest, Dr. Vashelkar, to inaugurate the event by lighting the ceremonial lamp. I also request our esteemed guest of honor on the dais to kindly join Dr. Vashelkar in this lamp lighting ceremony. Thank you, Dr. Vashelkar, and our other dignitaries on the dais for setting the tone for Infocom 2023. I would now like to request Mr. Dhruva Mukherjee, CEO of ABP Private Limited, to deliver the welcome address. Sir.
Thank you, Pina. Distinguished guests of the podium and friends in the auditorium. A very good morning to all of you. When you see the panel up here, I'm sure you realize that I am the most challenged and the least qualified to speak on technology amongst them. But the irony is that I am the opening speaker of Infocom 2023. However, let me assure you that my job is not to speak on anything to do with technology. Rather, I have the pleasant task of welcoming all of you to Infocom, this particular edition of Infocom. Infocom completes 22nd, this is the 22 year, so it completes the 22nd edition this year. And every year, it is growing in scale, size and impact thanks to your participation and your support. This year, we have about 139 speakers, about 28 partners who will be talking to about 1,050 delegates. Think about it, that's a staggering number. What that number also tells you is that Infocom has very carefully woven an intricate tapestry of content which will excite you and enthrall you over a period of 3 days. This content will also remain true to its core principles of leadership in technology, which has been the hallmark of Infocom over the past many years. What this content will also do is provoke a century-old debate amongst the proponents of technological determinism and the proponents of social constructivism. So what Infocom hopefully become over the next 3 days is a fierce battleground of people who believe that it's technology who shapes the society, and against those who believe that no, it's society which shapes the technology. And that will be an interesting discourse to dwell upon. So while we will actually walk through the fierce contest of ideas between artificial intelligence and human stupidity, or tiptoe around the paradox of smartphones and dumb people, what Infocom will endeavor is to keep the focus on a very core theme which we believe will be the driving force of our technological journey in the years to come. And that is the concept of purpose. I think in every walk of life, it's purpose which gives us meaning to what we do. It's purpose which gives clarity to confusion. And hence, Infocom 2023 has decided that in this year, our theme will be leading with purpose. So if you are one of those lucky ones who have already discovered your North Star, then use this Infocom to reclarify that purpose. And if you, like me, still searching for one, then use this conference to understand, and hopefully by the end of it, you and me will get a direction as to where to find our North Star. So I would say sit back, relax and enjoy. This is not a flight. I would say lean in, participate, and make the most of these 3 days. Welcome to Infocom 2023. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. May I now request Mr. Puneet Gupta, Vice President and MD, at App India and SARC, to kindly come forward and give a brief speech, sir.
Good morning. So as I was coming for the event, and I was thinking about the best years of my life, which probably were when I was growing up as a young boy in the 70s and 80s, and probably a little part of the early 90s. In those days, the world was very different. There were no mobile phones, and it was the world of the trunk calls and letters. You wanted a passport, you had to, I'm sure many of people in my generation know the experience that we had of getting a passport or an income tax return or a property tax or whatever. But just see how the world has changed in these 25-30 years. And look at the speed of change. I mean, internet came as late as the early 90s, right? Mobility came in the late 90s. The whole story around social mobility, analytics, cloud is only like 10 years old. And now we have artificial intelligence which seeks to disrupt the world, and a lot of Hollywood and Bollywood folks really making movies on science fiction and what artificial intelligence will do. I think we are very privileged to be in this industry at this time, because when I started working years back in the early 90s, IT used to be called as a EDB in many places for folks who remember. It was a support function, didn't get the attention of the senior management, but today IT is business, IT is mainstream. Those days of the 70s and 80s and 90s are completely different from the world we live in. And that makes the role of each one of us, and all of us are practitioners of IT in a way, really unique and challenging, because sky's the limit. In today's world, folks who have the gift of technology or who are a part of the industry can have endless opportunities on what you can accomplish. And to that extent, I think I feel privileged and honored that I'm living in a time in an industry which will define the future. But on a different note, at the same time, nature can humble us again and again. And one of the most recent examples of how nature humbled technology was the rescue of these 41 miners that happened day before yesterday. And in this 17-day ordeal, the best technology, the best experts were put together. Finally, it was a bunch of rat miners with a shovel who got the breakthrough. Right? So with all the expertise in the world and all the technology, we still had to rely on the rat miners. And I hope this battle of technology versus the brick and mortar or nature will continue, and we will see a very different world in times to come. I wish that you have a great event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gupta. May I now request Mr. Anil Valuri, MD and Vice President, Palo Alto Networks, to kindly come forward and speak a few words. Sir.
Good morning. It's been my privilege for many, many years to come here. This is mostly, I've never missed a Infocom event, except for during the COVID time it was not held. We've always participated, and in different avatars of my career, we did participate. It's always been a great gathering, very, very educative discussions, and very informative. On the topic of leadership with a purpose, I'm extremely privileged to have seen from pre-PC days to what it is now, gone through the whole gamut of technology changes from my digital days or Sun days and so on. And it's also coincides with the nature of management and leadership that has evolved. In my days, it was very hierarchical, Jack Welch's model of leading people and leading organizations. It was very, I will tell you how to do it and you do it, and then that's the way it works. And things came along, internet and the connectivity leveled everything. You don't have any more privilege of information. Everybody knows better than you. And therefore, the leadership styles have evolved. And particularly so in today's age with the Gen X and millennials, they are better than you. And though the leadership styles, what we use today, or what we call the servant leadership, everybody that work for you are better than you. So our job is to look at leading them, enable them, empower them, and remove the obstacles that they face, not tell them what to do and how to do it, but they find out better ways than what to do. And I am reminded of a famous quote from James Gosling, who created Java during my Sun days. He always said, innovation happens elsewhere. It never happens in the place where you think it's going to happen. So look for innovation elsewhere. And the way we do in Palo Alto, it's all about creating the purpose of keeping the world safe. Keeping the world safe, making today better than yesterday, and tomorrow better than today. And that, what is the purpose that we all go back home and say, yeah, we're doing things to keep the world safe. And that is a common purpose. Each organization can derive a purpose which is larger than just a business goal. And that's the way people will buy into the purpose. And for example, you give them value systems that companies believe in. For example, in Palo Alto, we believe in disruptive thinking. If you keep doing things that you do every time, it's not going to work. Disruptive thinking, integrity is very, very important. Inclusion. And today's world is all about inclusion, execution, and all of them collaboration is most important, because now people are working from home, people are working from elsewhere, and if you don't collaborate in a meaningful way, it's not going to happen. So the model now is all about servant leadership. The leader is not anybody better than the sum of all the parts, but the individuals are better. And the leader's job is to look at and lead people and show them the purpose and show them the path, but allow them to flourish. So on that note, thank you for having us here. It's been a privilege all the time. It's again a privilege today. And I look forward to seeing you today during the sessions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Valuri, sir. May I now request Dr. Bhaskar Ghosh, Chief Strategy Officer of Accenture, to kindly come forward and speak a few words. Sir.
Good morning. Lead with a purpose. For me, this topic is extremely relevant for this time, the time of uncertainty. For me, purpose is like North Star, which helps us to navigate in uncertain time. It helps us to navigate in unknown path. We are in the middle of a huge technology disruption. But tech disruption is not new to us. We have seen the disruption in internet days. We have seen the disruption with the digital wave. And every disruption has changed our life and created lots of opportunities. But today's disruption with generative AI is much, much more than what we have seen earlier. I believe that this will create a lot more opportunity for us in the future, but it will touch all our lives and livelihood. Our research says that 97% of the executives in the world feels that this technology will change their industry and their organization. Our research says 40% of the work across industries will be impacted. Impacted does not mean it will be eliminated. Out of 40%, 20% maybe will be automated over time and 20% will be augmented with the technology. But 40% is a large number across all industry. And in my industry, the professional services industry, the percentage is little higher. So that keeps me awake in the night. So this is a risk also, but the opportunities are huge. The question in front of us, how do we all navigate this change? How do we capture and lead this next wave of opportunities? We need to have the talent to capture this wave. We need to have the right regulatory framework so that we can manage the risk. We need to use this technology in a responsible way so that at the end of the day it creates value for the mankind. So I end with something what I am following, and I request all of you to follow. This is an opportunity. What I do, I listen, learn, and try to lead. So there are a lot of things that are happening. So my message to all of you, in next 3 days, try to listen to the speaker, understand what all things are happening in the world, in the era of technology. Try to learn from that, and at the end of the day, go back and lead your own area with this new opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Dr. Sanghamitra Bandyopadhyay, Director ISI, to kindly come forward and present her speech. Ma'am. A very good morning to all of you. It's a pleasure to be at the ABP Infocom 2023, and I thank the ABP group for inviting me here, in particular Shubhamay Chakraborty, who got in touch with me and asked me to do something which I am really looking forward to interact with Dr. Mashilkar after his talk today morning. I have been in awe of Dr. Mashilkar since my young researcher days, and happily that association continued, and in the recent past we've had opportunities for interaction at a very deep level with respect to the institute that I come from, the Indian Statistical Institute. This institute is a 90-plus-year-old institution, and I don't know whether many people are aware, but the first computer in India came to the Indian Statistical Institute in Kolkata, in the northern fringes of the city in Boranur. We have evolved quite a bit from those days. We are spread all over the country, and we consider our research, particularly in the area of statistics, mathematics, and in computer science, in machine learning and artificial intelligence, to be at the highest level. Artificial intelligence emerged in the 1950s, had a golden era in the 70s, and then there was a lull, a winter. The neural network, the basic model of the neural network, it was realized that it could not classify very simple data sets. There were typical examples of data sets, very simple, which the perceptron, as it was called, was unable to classify. So the faith in AI waned. It re-emerged as expert systems at a later point of time. And right now, we are in an era where we cannot deny that AI has and is going to affect all of our lives. This neural network, the re-emergence of neural networks, it was there for quite some time, but the huge computational resources, the huge power which has now come into our hands is what has led to the success of deep learning, as we know, and the generative AI. Now, generative AI has become a matter of great interest as well as a matter of great concern. And worldwide, there is this thought debate going on. What to do with this generative AI? How to regulate generative AI? That debate will continue. The legalities will be looked into. Regulations will be put in place. But the march of excellence of artificial intelligence, machine learning, whether good, bad, science has always had two sides of the coin. How you use it is what defines the invention, the discovery. So AI, the march of excellence will continue. We have to regulate it so that it is used for the right purposes, and we hope to see that in the days to come, it will be there everywhere. Healthcare, we are ourselves working in the area of healthcare, in the area of biology, developing machine learning tools for solving problems in biology. I will not stretch my speech any further. I look forward to the talk of Dr. Mashelkar, and also look forward to putting certain questions that have been in my mind for a long time now to Dr. Mashelkar, and I hope you will all participate in that, in the sense that Dr. Mashelkar's wide experience and deep expertise in a variety of areas of science and leadership. With that, we hope to benefit here. And again, I look forward to his speech here and also look forward to interacting with you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Bangapadlana. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I will request Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, FRS, former Director General CSIR, to present his address. Sir.
Thank you very much, distinguished Dias and the wonderful audience, great eminence I see here. First of all, I want to thank you. I remember the first email that you sent to me, inviting me to this Infocom event. I heard a lot about it, but never thought that I would be fortunate enough to be given this opportunity. I love the subject that we are focusing on today, leading with purpose. In fact, ABB Group itself is an exemplar of leading with a purpose, the big purpose, North Star as we sort of refer to. A little later in my presentation, you will see somewhere I mentioned about purpose, perseverance and passion being the key. Perseverance is very, very important. Winners never quit, quitters never win. And all that has to be done with the passion, and the purpose has to be the big North Star, not only for us, but for the society and for the nation. I think there is a lot of good news that I will share with you. People call me a dangerous optimist, by the way. And one of the good news is when you talk to the young today, and I will give examples, they say our idea is not to make billions, but to bring smile on the face of billions. And that's the big purpose, all right? And if that happens, I think we'll have a different world together if everyone looks at that as a purpose of life. I'll be giving an extended presentation, but I thought I'll make these opening remarks first. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mashelkar. I would request Dr. Mashelkar and all the other dignitaries of the dais to kindly take their seats in the hall. We will begin with our keynote sessions, and we will just take a